bet we all would scream like that if we went from this to that. And he completed all Mike's training. I'm out. What's up, BP Squad, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to discuss Deku's training under the former #1 hero, All Might, and really break down why I personally believe his training to achieve the one-for-all quirk is one of the best methods of training that you can do in order to build raw strength and stamina. Notice how I said raw strength and stamina, not just strength and stamina. There is just a slight difference between the two, and of course, I'll be explaining that. You ever meet one of those guys that's just strong as hell for no reason? They just able to pick up heavy weights with no problem, or maybe just throw around their body weight like it's nothing. And then you ask them,
"How did you acquire this new strength? Enlighten me."
And then they tell you,
"I do a lot of push-ups and sit-ups."
No, but seriously, maybe they just say they train calisthenics, or maybe they lift heavy weights 2 or 3 days out of the week. But the people I typically come across that's strong for no reason are the people that really don't train specifically for something at all. They just throw around heavy stuff like working on the farm, shoveling dirt, or even more. That's what we call country strength, and in my opinion, that's what we call raw strength. Can we agree with this? There is a difference when you can lift something up that you specifically train for versus taking someone who can lift something up without any specialty experience, and yet all they do is work on a farm or just do actual labor intensive work. Those guys have raw strength and stamina. And I know you guys are probably wondering, how can we tie all of this back from Deku's training under All Might? Well, what I just described is Deku's training under All Might. All Might had Deku pushing and pulling heavy stuff around the junkyard, swimming, and even carrying him. Guys, if you want raw feats of strength and stamina, then I strongly suggest to incorporate these type of exercises into your weekly training routine. Now let's break down each exercise from Deku's training and how we'll build raw strength and stamina. The first exercise we're going to analyze is the pulling of heavy equipment. We see All Might have Deku pulling the heavy stuff around the junkyard, specifically the large file cabinet and the object that All Might is sitting on. As you guys can see, Deku can hardly pull the object that All Might is sitting on, and he's struggling to pull that large file cabinet. But nonetheless, these are two great strength training exercises. Since this is an intensive full body exercise, this will build phenomenal strength everywhere, but mainly your lower body, such as your calves, quads, hamstrings, glutes, and even your lower back. So how can we replicate this? Well, first off, if you have access to a weighted sled, then you're good to go. Simply put a rope or resistance band around the sled and pull that thing. You're gonna feel your legs on fire. I recommend for you guys to pull the sled 4 to 5 sets, 1 to 2 reps, depending on how heavy the sled is and of course the distance that you're going to be pulling. Now if you don't have access to a sled, we can always improvise. Now the next exercise we see All Might have young Deku do is tire runs. You are running with extra weight on you, so your muscles, especially your heart muscle, it will have to work harder in order to pump blood efficiently throughout your entire body. This in return will cause the heart to work a bit harder, but will improve your cardiovascular over time. So you'll see a significant improvement in your stamina. Now you can use a small tire or a weighted vest to run with, but if you don't have access to either of those things, simply take a backpack and put some stuff in it and you're good to go. I recommend to do the small tire weighted runs for 4 to 5 sets, anywhere from 1 to 6 reps down the back, depending on the distance. Or maybe you could run 1 to 2 miles with a weighted vest or the backpack. Either way, you're gonna see a significant improvement within your stamina. Now my next exercise, which is personally my favorite, you knew that was coming, but that's the push sled. Just like the pull sled, but we're gonna be doing the opposite and doing pushing instead. We see young Deku pushing those tires, or maybe we should say attempting. But this is another full body exercise for building strength and stamina. I recommend to push a tire, sled, or something that is a little heavy that will make you work. Again, you'll be feeling this mainly in your legs and your heart. These type of pushing and pulling of the sled exercises really pushes the body to the extreme. You will become insanely stronger and athletic. Now I recommend you guys to do the push sled exercise for 4 sets, 1 to 2 reps down the back, depending on the distance. And remember, use a sled, tire, or something heavy of that sort. Be creative. Our next exercise is the bench press. We see Deku doing bench press with All Might for building up his upper body strength and muscle. The bench press is another great exercise that's gonna work your chest, shoulders, arms, and more. This is a compound movement like the other exercises we've been talking about. Now me personally, I prefer the incline bench press because it hits your weak areas of the chest more, that being your upper pecs. But either one you choose, you'll be getting stronger and building muscle. And the best thing about bench press is that you can scale the weight more easily. Simply add more weight as you get stronger and stronger. I recommend to do bench press 4 to 5 sets, 8 to 10 reps for mainly hypertrophy. For strength, 5 sets, 4 to 6 reps. Our next exercise is push-ups. Deku is mainly doing push-ups in his room. I personally don't have much to say about push-ups since I always talk about them. We know they benefit us tremendously. We're hitting the same muscles as we would with the bench press, but now we're getting used to using our body weight more, which will help us build up our connective tissues and joint mobility. For the All My training program, do push-ups 3 to 4 sets, 20 to 25 reps. And always make sure you mix up your push-up variations. The next exercise, which is realistically the best, and that's swimming. We've seen Deku swimming like a fish in that water. Now me personally, guys, I can't swim. Well, maybe not effectively. Swimming is one of the best exercises for building up crazy stamina as well as strength. You'll also be working every single muscle, especially your heart. And best of all, it's low impact. So that means you don't have to worry about wear and tear on your joints. For a swimming workload, I recommend for you guys to do 10 or so laps around the pool or maybe swim for a certain distance. But be sure, guys, train smart when you're dealing with water. Don't overexert yourself. Next up, we have weighted walks. We've seen Deku walking with All Might on his back. This will build up your strength and stamina, and it's extremely versatile, meaning you can use a backpack, weighted vest, or if you have siblings, simply put them on your back and just walk. Say goodbye to your legs, because they'll be on fire. Do weighted walks for 3 sets, depending on the distance, 8 to 10 reps. We are down to our last 2 exercises, and I'm gonna say the best out of those 2 for last. So next up is dumbbell curls. Deku is seen doing dumbbell curls in his room, which of course is a great exercise for building up your biceps. Now me personally, I don't really stress doing this exercise when it comes to building strength. Either way, it's still a solid exercise when it comes to building up your arms to improve your overall physique. Do dumbbell curls 3 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. The last exercise on the list, and probably the most underrated, and that is the hand grip strength exercise. Deku is seen doing this in school as he's writing. And the best thing about this exercise is that you can do it anywhere and at any time. It's a phenomenal exercise when it comes to improving your strength of your forearms as well as your hands. The forearm muscles are indirectly worked with every exercise that you do, so it's extremely important that you give them specific focus from time to time. Working your forearms will have tremendous carryover to push-ups, pull-ups, and even handstands. Strengthen your grip, guys. And if you don't have access to a hand gripper like me or Deku does, then simply use a pull-up bar to hang from. But if you do have access to a hand gripper, and depending on how tough it is, do this for 5 to 6 sets, 15 to 25 reps. And if you're using a pull-up bar to hang from, do for 5 sets until failure, and rest 1 minute in between. But guys, those are all of the exercises we've seen Deku do under All Might. There is one exercise in particular that I wish he had done. Of course, that's pull-ups. Pull-ups are a must for everybody, so be sure you're doing your pull-ups. Other than that, Deku's training is pretty solid when it comes to building raw strength and stamina. Do try incorporating all these exercises into your training regimen. That's all I have for you guys. If you enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Most importantly, make sure you are properly subscribed. I'll see you guys next Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Peace and love, and Nashe! Boom! We out, baby.